Hello, and welcome to this week's Asia Business Network Ezine Challenge. This is David Clive Price. Last week we talked about how to overcome fear of doing business in Asia. And this week we're looking at another challenge in the series, why can't Chinese business people get to the point? I often hear Western business people complain that they can never get to the point in business discussions with the Chinese. Decisions never seem to be made. Everything seems to take an interminable time. There seems to be no logic to the process. It's as if anything that varies from best practice as understood and implemented in Western countries, such as America or Britain, is defective and not to be followed in any circumstances. The general feeling is that eventually all Asian countries, and China in particular, will become more Western and follow due process in terms of law and business behavior and clear rules and straightforward, enforceable contracts. However, what these Western business people forget is that personal dignity or face is very important to the Chinese, and this has particular relevance to decision making. Face-saving tactics are often used in business to avoid giving a clear, logical response to proposals. This gives the Chinese side time to consider proposals and to wait until a personal relationship is further established. The negotiation itself will be slotted into the time-hallowed process of guanxi, relationship building, and reciprocal obligations. Whatever was said or half agreed at the initial meeting will be forgotten unless you made a clear note of what was agreed. Clearly, this oblique and largely instinctive behavior is a way of buying time in negotiations and also of avoiding the disharmony created by giving straight yes or no replies to proposals or questions. Other non-verbal techniques, such as vaguely worded and evasive questions and a love of paradox, are all part of the learning process for the Western business person in China. Those who are posted to China for a short time are rarely able to conquer these high-context and oblique negotiation processes. Many companies feel that the effort to invest in the necessary training is not worth it. However, to think in these terms is both short-sighted and negative. It is best to remember that a Chinese may well send you in the wrong direction if you ask for directions in the street, simply not to lose face. I have personally experienced this in Shanghai and many other Chinese cities. For Western companies, a simple investment in preparation, research, and intercultural training and coaching will help navigate this minefield of saving face in China. Another way to succeed is to leave your ego at home. The Chinese pay attention to what you do, not what you say, so it's better to be understated and modest in all your actions and behavior. Show your Chinese counterparts respect and make an effort to get to know them on a more personal level. This will help you to gain their empathy for your position. Much is made of the elaborate banqueting, drinking, and karaoke sessions in China. These might not seem like ideal negotiating forums, and indeed they are not. But they are an important way to bond with your Chinese counterparts, and they should be respected for that alone. Also, beware of thinking that absolutely no business goes on amid all the toasting and ganbeis. You may not realize it, but these getting-to-know-you activities are not the prelude to negotiation. They are in some ways the opening of the play. You should be working out the script, just as the Chinese are, and getting ready to play your part in the unfolding drama. I don't mean that you should be spouting endless business topics between drinking Chinese Mai Tai and eating Beijing duck and singing My Way. I mean that you should have a clear, strategic plan for what you want to get out of the relationship in the long run. You may be able to deliver this plan in a short message of thanks or a toast at the event itself. Whatever your vision is, you should be ready to enact it in slow and careful stages with the ultimate goal in mind. So this week's intercultural challenge is to stop thinking that if you speak slowly and loudly enough, eventually your Chinese business partner will behave more like a Western-educated MBA. I'd love to hear from you if you have tips or comments about doing business in China or in other parts of Asia. You can leave them at my blog, www.davidcliveprice.com/blog. And of course, please subscribe if you want more on-the-ground intel like this. Just add yourself to the subscription box on www.davidcliveprice.com. And you could also subscribe to this Asia Business Network podcast on iTunes.